Thank you, everybody, and welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. 2 years ago, we never could have imagined that we'd all be here convening an anti-Semitism summit, because that we'd need to do this because of the hatred that had arisen against Australian Jews, because our leaders' responses had been so woefully inadequate. The idea that we be confronting violent extremism driven by an irrational hatred would have once seemed unthinkable and absurd, and it is absurd. We are here today because we will not accept this as our new reality. We won't tolerate feeble action any longer. Today we will hear from some of the sharpest minds in our nation, esteemed former Australian Prime Minister John Howard and highly respected Federal Court Judge Justice Michael Lee. Through expert discussions on law and order and education, we will chart a path forward, one that doesn't resign itself to complacency. At the close of today's summit, Alex will outline some critical changes and meaningful outcomes that are desperately needed, because the status quo is not just failing us, it's leading us toward a dark and dangerous future, and it is one we will not accept. Alex.
Thank you, my dear Sharri, and welcome to those with us today and many more watching at home on Sky News. This summit comes at a critical time in the history of our nation. We face a crisis that has brought open support for terrorism to our streets, seen the indoctrination of children into a vicious ideology that will pose a threat to us all for generations to come. It has undermined the effectiveness and public confidence in our universities, our schools, our hospitals, our cultural festivals. Our reputation as a free and fair society has been degraded by the spectacle of a mob at the steps of our most iconic landmark chanting medieval battle cries to kill Jews, by health professionals vowing to murder people rather than to heal them, by the normality of anti-Semitic firebombings, all broadcast throughout the world and all causing people to question just what we have become. The slogans chanted in October 2023 are now daubed on burning synagogues and childcare centres, and all of this has caused a segment of our society made up of proud Australians who have contributed to every aspect of Australian life from the very first day of European settlement to question whether they have a future in this country. And so today we have assembled the political leadership and thought leaders across sectors to lead us out of this moment of darkness. This will be a day of action, and we are determined that this day will mark a turning point in the battle for our country. And so at the end of this day, at the conclusion of the expert panels and speeches, I will present the action plan to solve the anti-Semitism crisis in this country.